Yesterday was the celebration of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. And it's one that I have the privilege to mark in my district and beyond. Fortunately, there were about 5 different events that I had the privilege of attending, and I'm happy that there were 5 different events because each event reminds us of where we came from, where we are, and where we have to go. And as I think of this celebration, not only of our team, but now the recognition of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, and how it is also intertwined. Dr. King's struggle for the American dream was deeply and still is deeply rooted in our Constitution. And the Constitution that says that all men are created equal. And the expansion of what that means through voting, through electing people who understand the magnitude of creating equal justice for all, allows for the immersion of legislation and policies that bring the talents of all people to this great nation. So back in 1965, when the Voting Rights Act was signed as a result of the marches, the peaceful marches, the journey, which was not peaceful, over the Edmund Pettus Bridge, where people were hosed and dogs set upon them, beaten, was so that people could have the right to vote, so that people would be brought into these chambers and given an opportunity to articulate legislatively the American dream. The American dream that allows for me to stand here as the leader of the Senate, for you to be acting as presiding officer, and for all of us, no matter where we came from, the different shores that many of us traveled from, to be in this chamber, to be able to create policy that continues to bring forth the Constitution that says all men are created equal. That's what Dr. King stood for. And that's why we continue to honor his legacy. Some years you feel that everybody gets it and we're all doing well, and the celebration of Dr. King is perfunctory. Oh, Dr. King, we shall overcome. My 2.5-year-old twin grandchildren sing a song about Dr. Martin Luther King. They can barely figure out what they're saying, but they do know how to say no fighting, no fighting. My 21-year-old grandson turned 21 on Dr. King's birthday. The difference in understanding of my 2.5-year-old and my 21-year-old are quite profound. And I think it represents a lot of us. Some of us never understood the struggle, and some of us struggle every single day. Some of us know the words but not the music, and some of us just know the music. But I, who had the privilege of being alive when the civil rights struggle was at its height, I, who have stood in this chamber over and over again talking about where my parents were disenfranchised, and my grandparents before them, but stand here as a dream keeper because of the life and legacy of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, who believed in nonviolent protests, who believed that social change could happen if we allowed our hearts and our minds to be unified in the love for humanity. I am so happy that I could stand in this chamber today with colleagues who understand what Dr. King's legacy means, whose shoulders we all stand on, who can celebrate young people who, because of a vision of expansion and equality, are able to achieve national championships. And I hope year after year, the dream of Dr. King is more manifest, not only in these chambers, but beyond. And again, thank you so much for honoring this day.